has done this year, where your money is going, what the organization has intentions of doing in the future. That is the most critical thing. We're going to now ask everybody at the bar to please come sit down so we can officially begin the event. No, it's okay. We waited for 10:30, so give a chance for everybody to have coffee and get settled. I'd like to now call up the wonderful, wonderful host and hostess of this morning's event. I'd like to now ask, I apologize, I'd like to now ask Julie and Stephen Montague, the host and hostess of this morning's Mekudeshet event, to please come up. We'd like to thank you. We'd like to give you a small token of our appreciation for opening up your home. This beautiful, beautiful backyard. Rabbi David Ozeri just came. Stephen, he said, wow, it's beautiful. We want and bless them to enjoy their home. So I'm going to thank both of you on behalf of Rabbi Moshe Haber. Shaul, I'm sorry. Rabbi Shaul, well, all the Habers are wonderful. Shaul is wonderful. Moshe, who is the engine behind this. I'm sorry. Shaul Haber, who is the engine behind Mekudeshet, alongside my cousin Kim Naba. They together have founded this organization. You're going to hear some of the statistics in a few minutes. You are all going to be incredibly amazed what Mekudeshet has done, what it plans to do. It is one of the most vital, critical organizations that was formed in the history of our community because of our youth, because of the young boys and girls that need to meet. And they came up with this. They learned about it from another organization that proved it to be successful. They took from this model. Rabbi Shaul is there day in and day out watching all of the shatkanim, all of the boys, the girls. You're going to hear from me some of the numbers. It's just startling to see how many young people have signed up to find their shidduch, and really to go on a date. That was what Kim, a motto. Go on a date, get started, and then from there we will see what is going to be. So we have a small gift for you. I want to thank you again. We have this beautiful card for you, which we're graciously thanking you for giving us your home, opening up for the organization, and that's beautiful. Kim has the greatest taste. Put it in your bar, enjoy it, and most importantly, to the Montague family, not just on behalf of Mekudeshet, but on behalf of our community, we want to thank you for keeping up to open your home every summer. For one institution, one organization or another, you're always there. The most important thing is the community knows it can always count on the Montague family when asked. The way that Kim asked you to give us this opportunity to show, I don't want to say show off, but actually to show off what Mekudeshet is all about. The community needs to hear more about it. This is for you. We thank you. Please enjoy the gift. Thank you. Now I would like to call up the engine, the man, Rabbi Shaul Haber, who is behind Mekudeshet. He's going to give us a little insight, a little review, a little recap. You want to do stats before Rabbi Shaul? Okay. Rabbi, come closer, because you're on deck, which is always a few minutes away. Kim would like us to give some of the stats, which I will do. And then the rabbi would speak. Rabbi David Ozeri is going to give us a keynote message on behalf of the community, something he's been doing for many, many years, helping couples to find each other. Give me the stats, and I will be more than proud. Right here. So in just a very, very short time, 2 years, I want to give everybody some understanding of the power of starting a new organization, what it's capable of doing. You just have to believe, you have to trust, and you have to know that their intentions and every dollar that we give them to support their intentions are going directly to support and help the institution. In this case today, it is on behalf of Mekudeshet. So here are some of the stats. 235 couples have gotten engaged. That's 470 singles who found their match. Isn't that incredible? Here's a bigger one. Here's a bigger one. If that was a telltale sign, how's this one? Over 3,775 of our Sephardic singles have signed up in the database of Mekudeshet. That's a big number and growing. More and more are coming on every day, every week. Now, I want to give you some conservative estimates. 70 to 100 new singles join Mekudeshet every month. At any given time, 80 to 95 couples in our community are going on a date. Something I touched on with Stephen and Julie. It's the biggest thing. Go on a date. Let them be open. And that's what Mekudeshet is telling them. We didn't ask you to get married. Don't book the hall. Go on a date. And we'll leave the rest up to Hashem. You get along, you go on a second date. But they are the ones that are putting these couples together. And that to me, and it should be to all of you, listening, watching throughout the community as you hear more about it, should really be heartfelt about. That's a big thing. We've reordered more than 9,500 dates, including 2,222 first dates. 6,800 plus parents have reached out to Mekudeshet.
No, the other way around. We reached out to them.
Oh, you know what? I don't care which way it goes. Whether we reached out or they reached out to us, it would have been nice if they reached out. But I get that, and I'm not going to touch on that because I understand how difficult it is for parents. So Mekudeshet has reached out to 6,800 parents to ask them permission for their children to sign up and to enroll. And that's how we got to 3,755 and counting every single week, as I said. We have made 4,800 plus introductions, another great statistic. And we have 80 plus active matchmakers working every day or constantly adding mainstream people that you know. So let me touch on that, and then I'll call up Rabbi Shaul. So could you imagine having an army in our community of 80 qualified matchmakers that know exactly what to do? They know the people, they know their children, they know their families, they know more or less who would be good for who, which girl and which boy would more likely be good for each other. And we have them. We have 80 of them. Rabbi Shaul is overseeing 80 Shafchanim, 80 matchmakers, and they are from, as Kim would want me to say, which I knew already because we've spoken and spoken and spoken about Mekudeshet in the weeks past. They are from all walks of our community. I repeat, they are from every side and angle of our community. Therefore, we want to be able to capture as many of the young boys and the young girls. People come over to me. I tell them to get in touch with Mekudeshet. I tell them that they know exactly what to do for your daughter, for your son. So please, everybody, let's give them our support. Let's give them our financial support. Let's give them our love and let them know that they are doing one of those vital jobs that this community has ever seen. I wish it wasn't 2 years, but it's only 2 years and counting, and we plan to stand here every year and update the statistics, and I believe it's going to be more marriages, more people enrolling, more parents being contacted, more families understanding. This is good. This is something that works. This is something that has been proven over the years positive. Rabbi Shaul, Ava?
Yes. To make a running change, Rabbi Ozeri.
I'm sorry, I understand, and I know where he has to go, and I respect that fully. Ladies and gentlemen that have come here this morning, that are watching and listening on any video channels, Rabbi David Ozeri would like to speak to us first.
Good morning, everybody, ladies and gentlemen. I'd just like to acknowledge for a moment one person that's here. First of all, Poti Mechvod Achsanya, the Montague family, Mrs. Montague. Where are you? Mr. Montague, where are you? Where is he? How are you? Baruch Hashem. Thank you very much. This is magnificent. You know, there's a Chazal that says, difficult is making a match like the splitting of the sea. So it's very apropos we're here today. We see that sea split, we know we're doing fine. I'd just like to acknowledge the presence of somebody who's here today. Kim called me up a few years ago, said, Rabbi, I have this idea. I'm so frustrated with how many singles there are in the community. I think we should start paying the matchmakers. I think we have to make an organization. How do you do this? I said, it's simple. We get in touch with a man by the name of Rabbi Pagrau, has been doing this for years in the Ashkenazi community, and they've made thousands of shidduchim. We made one phone call to Rabbi Pagrau. He came down. He sat with Kim. Rabbi Pagrau, please wave your hand. Rabbi Pagrau, and he has been a tremendous help to the organization. I'd just like to say the following. I'm not going to take up your time. It is something great in heaven to make one basra, one shidduch. Do you realize that if you make one shidduch, that can turn into a family of maybe 5 or 6 children? 5 or 6 children will turn into about 40 or 50 grandchildren, 60 grandchildren. That will turn into a few hundred great-grandchildren. After 120 years, we're going to go to heaven, and they're going to show us hundreds of people. They say, here, you're responsible for this. They say, you have the wrong guy. I don't know what you're talking about. No. You made a basra. This is what came out from that basra. It is not easy to make a shidduch. You sometimes get so frustrated, you could be on the phone for weeks on end. They can go out 10 times, 12 times, and then all of a sudden they break up. Where am I at? But Mekudeshet is there for these matchmakers, constantly encouraging them, constantly sending them money. Now, we're not going to sit there and make basras, let's face it. But you know what? If you support Mekudeshet, you have made shidduchim. You have made basras. You will get credit for it. I tip my hat to Rabbi Haber and to Kim Daba for everything that they've done to this community. You know, some of these girls that they made basras and boys, they're older, 28, 27, 20, 30, okay? They would have never been able to get married without this organization. We have to understand that, and we have to be there for them. And I promise you, if you do it, if you support Mekudeshet, you will have beracha in your life. Thank you.
Before I ask Rabbi Shaul to come up in 1 minute, Rabbi Ozeri touched on something that needs a little more elaborating on. Nobody should ever know the pain. Nobody should ever understand what it's like to have a daughter that's home after a certain age that he mentioned, and then Kim raised her hand, even older than 28 and 30-year-old young ladies. So I have to tell you, first I'll talk about the girls. There is no more difficult feeling for a mom and dad to know that their daughter didn't get married in her younger years. And there you have Mekudeshet. They do double time. They put every ounce of effort into trying to find that young lady her match. Now to the boys, what happens to them, God forbid, they can get lost. You got a boy 28, 30 years old and getting a little older, they can get lost. Different things can happen to them. And there, you sign up, you get involved, you put them into the program, you leave it to the rabbi, you leave it to Kim, you leave it to Mekudeshet, lo and behold, we're going to have miracles happen. Miracles happen. We cannot ever. This has been Rabbi David Ozeri's mantra for years now. We've come up and screamed about the older boys and the older girls that we feel we're leaving them behind. Now Mekudeshet says no one will left behind. No one will be unaddressed. Everybody's going to be addressed, and they'll have an opportunity to go out and get on dates because we have the list of who's available and out there within our wider community. So I have to touch on that because that to me is the most sensitive thing. I know it's the most sensitive thing to Rabbi Azeri. And, we get busy. We know about someone. We feel their pain. We go back to work. We go back to what we're doing. Go back to our lives. Everybody has a life. So there is Mekudeshet. There is Rabbi Shaul. There is Kim. There's the organization. There's the structure that says, we'll do this day in and day out, every day of the year. Rabbi Shaul, we're so proud of you, your family, everything that the Hebrew family stands for, everything that you're doing for us. Hashem should give you the credit, the zechut, to be strong, to use your mind, to use your wisdom, to every day get more and more crafty about getting young and middle-aged and everybody that wants a chance to go out and get married. Like Rabbi Azeri said, it multiplies and multiplies, and we, our community, get the benefit of the fruits of your hard labor. You and Kim Daba and your team. I'll never forget, you have a team, an army behind you. No man is an island. We can't do it alone. Rabbi.
Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday, Mekudeshet made a Basra, Syrian girl and boy. The girl is 46 years old.
Yes.
She's getting married, and she will have a baby this episode.
Rabbi Azeri, you took my whole speech.
Oh, come on.
Okay. Thank you for coming. I know that the weather is amazing, and really there are other things you could have done today, so we really appreciate it. Also, thank you to the host and hostess, Stephen and Julie Montague, who are actually related, and we used to walk, I don't know if Stephen remembers, but we used to walk home from shul together from Lawrence Avenue, past his father's house. We would walk home together. Also, I would like to thank our team, all the matchmakers and the people that work with us. Every single person just has one thing on their mind, and that is to do and to give and to help people and to focus on people. And if you looked at our texts throughout the day and WhatsApps and phone calls, you would know that there's really no time in the day that we're not all of us busy, whether it's even secretaries or matchmakers or whoever it is. I'll wake up in the morning, I have 5 texts at 5:30 in the morning about Mekudeshet. What are we going to do with this person? What are we going to do with that person? A story. There was a business conference with about 50 salesmen there, and they had motivational speakers getting up and giving different motivational stories and things and trying to motivate the people. One man got up and he had a novel idea. He said, I'm going to give $5. We're going to pair up. Everyone's going to pair up, and we're going to do arm wrestling. And I win. So if you win 5 times, you'll get whatever the amount of money is. If you do 10 times, you'll get that amount of money. For each $5 for each time that you win. What happened? Everyone sat down, 10 minutes, they're arm wrestling each one. After they were done, one person, one group, okay, I won 5, the other one says, I won 10. One big guy got 20. And then there were 2 people who said we got 300 each. So everyone's looking at them, how'd you get 300? How'd you win? Everyone else got 510. How'd you get 300? And the answer was, instead of fighting against each other, we made a deal. I'll let you win, and you let me win. Instead of going against each other, we did it together. Instead of doing what normal people would do, which is to compete, we worked together, and we, instead of winning 5 or 10, we exponentially won hundreds instead of 5 or 10. And if you look at our numbers, if you look at Mekudeshet's numbers, 237 engagements, and these are real numbers, they're not juiced up, they're the actual numbers that we send out every single day. Harry said 235, it's 237, because since he got his paper to prepare for his speech, Baruch Hashem Mekudeshet made 2 more engagements. Wow. 237, 9,551 dates. And if you look at the numbers, you have to say to yourself, and we have Baruch Hashem 70 to 100 people adding themselves to our app every single month. How do you get numbers like that? And the answer is together. together with the rabbis, together with the teachers, together with the parents, the singles, and everyone that's here today supporting us, together with all of you. And when you do it together, you accomplish so much more. But in addition to a network that's not only sophisticated, confidential, efficient, we also care. And I think that that's the main ingredient to everything that we're doing. Mekudeshet cares about every single individual single and their parent. If you talk to us, you call us, I think you would think if you call one of our matchmakers, you would think that you were the only person that they were working on. Because the truth is, we really, really, really care. I think I see people, you see someone who's single, and you're dealing with hundreds of them. You would think after a while you get desensitized. And it's really not what happens. Each individual one, I can't even remember like my cousins' names, but I'm remembering names of singles. Why? Because we look at them and we focus on them, and we really, really want to work with them. And I think that if you're here on one of the last Fridays of the summer, and maybe one of the nicest Fridays of the summer, you care as well. And that is the number one ingredient. You care about the 26-year-old girl who, without a network of people working on her, maybe would not have gotten a phone call in a year or two. But now, because of what we're all doing together, they're getting a phone call once a month, once a week, whether it's an actual idea that pans out or just someone that cares about them. It makes all the difference. So even a 19-year-old girl who, if not for a network working on her, would have had years of pain. And Baruch Hashem, someone calls her at 19 and stops it early, gets her married, and then she doesn't have to think about what would have been. Or we'll have, let's say, a 28-year-old boy who doesn't have enough confidence to go over to the right girl. So instead he's going over to the wrong girls. Now a matchmaker calls him and says, I have someone perfect for you. She's healthy, her family's good, we know everything about them. Try it. And the boy dates her, and this happens, I'm telling you, every single day. People who are not getting any ideas, Baruch Hashem, with the network that Mekudeshet has, they're getting ideas. Or the 22-year-old boy who needs guidance, and Baruch Hashem, Mekudeshet sets them up with coaching. We cover that coaching, and we set them up, and we guide them. And instead of going aimlessly for years and getting nowhere, he gets set up at 22, 23, makes the right choice, makes a clear decision, and he gets married. And people often ask us, we added 50 matchmakers at least in the past year. And very often we'll get this question of what's your criteria of a matchmaker? And of course, I'm simplifying it, but the primary things we look for are you have to have time, energy, and you have to care. You can be from any walk of the community, any part of the community, mainstream, more religious, less religious, shabby, chalabi, whatever you are. The one thing we're looking for is people that care and have time and want to be busy with this the entire day, at night, middle of the night. They're thinking, they go to weddings. Instead of hacking with their friends, they're looking at people and trying to find dates. It says, and I'm going to end with this week's parasha, I'm going to end with this thought. It says in this week's parasha, that you have to go in all the ways of Hashem. A person is supposed to try to mimic the ways of Hashem and give the way Hashem does. And the Gemara tells us, what does Hashem do the entire day? Says the Gemara, Hashem sits and is mizabeg zibukim. He makes matches. Now, not all of us are matchmakers, so we're not going to do that. I myself am actually completely not a matchmaker. I don't think I can set anybody else. I think I made one match in my life. But the truth is, by supporting the organization and working in the organization, you get that same thing of the halachta v'chol derachav, that you're doing what Hashem does. And let's just remember, we do it alone. Each individual person, we can make one match here, one match there. But if we do it together, we can do hundreds of matches and set up so many people and change their lives. Thank you.
matchmakers. She just called me up and said, hey, what's up with Renee? I have a guy. And she said to me, I'm part of this organization called Mekudeshet. I said, what is that?
Mekudeshet is such an important organization in our community. The community has grown in such number, but there's so many people that don't even know that the other one exists.
We realized that there were people that haven't gotten an idea in months, and we decided that we're gonna try to tackle that issue.
It's a tremendous organization. They're working very hard. And since they started, they have made many marriages already in the community. And something that really should be supported. It's a very important for us.
I was 38 years old when I got married. Knowing that I had somebody behind me helping me to find my correct spouse was the greatest gift that I could ever imagine.
Working with Mekudeshet was very easy. From the time of the shopping on the policy to tell you they want to set you up a date, finding out information about the person.
It was the comfort that she gave me, the advice, that I met the people that know him, or I spoke to the people that know him.
The whole experience of matchmaking is very beautiful, actually, because a person gets to know more or less who they're actually dating. What are their dreams? What are their aspirations?
Think about it in terms of what type of quality match do you want for your child, and how will you find out about those qualities?
In the past, you go to a wedding, and it used to work, and then recently, in the past 10 years, I would say, and people kind of agree with this, that slowly stopped working, whether it's because of people on their phones, or people are shy, or because you don't know people at wedding.
Being set up is not just about a religious thing. It doesn't matter what level you hold. It matters that you want to meet somebody and start a family.
Matchmaking is as old as the hills and as current as today. We're a tight community. We want to remain a tight community. We want our children to marry the type of people that share our values.
I would 100% recommend Mekudeshet for my single friends or just single people out there in general. I think it's a great way to look into the person that you're dating. The system is very easy.
So what we do is, the person enters their name, right away within a day or two they get a phone call from one of our people, and they discuss with them what the information they put in, and they maybe give them a little bit of advice. And within a couple of days, we can allocate them to one specific matchmaker. If they don't have an idea for them within a couple of weeks, we change that to a different matchmaker.
So I got a call saying, you don't know me, I know you, and I'll be right back. I called my mom, I was like, do you know who this is? She's like, oh God, I grew up with his mother.
Thank you. Thank you for helping me. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for never leaving me. And thank you for finding my wife.
Hashem, every part of the Colorado Mekudeshet is one of the ways Hashem is helping every part of this country.
Coming up momentarily. I just wanted everybody to know that all the money that we've raised, all the money that's being donated today and that will be donated is in L'Ilui Nishmat, baby Sophia, Bat Magalit Jarada, a little 6-month-old baby girl that passed away a few days ago. We want to give her the strength and the zechut of knowing we will not forget her, we love her, and we're going to do a lot of zechuyot and a lot of beautiful things will be done in a memory to remember her. Rabbi Joey Haber, I'm honored to have you please come up to speak to us on behalf of Mekudeshet. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Good morning, and thank you very much for having me here. It's a beautiful setting. To the Montague family, I shall only have filled this home with happiness and beracha. But I don't know if everyone back here understands what pain looks like and what pain sounds like. I'd like to describe it with a brief thought. Everyone here heard of Rivka Imenu? Do you know where in the Torah she passes away? If you look hard enough, you won't find it. It doesn't say that she passed away. Sarai Imenu is a whole story. Rivka Imenu doesn't say. There's one word that talks about her nurse passing away, and Rashi says this alludes to the fact that Rivka also passed away. And Rashi asks this powerful question. I don't understand this. Rivka Imenu talking about matriarchs. Why doesn't the Torah tell us? And she says, here's why. Because Rivka had a child named Esav. He wasn't a good man. And we were afraid that people would talk when she passed away. This is the woman who gave birth to Esav. They would curse her. Kereshi, Esav Imenu Esav. So in order to avoid that curse, the Torah hides it and doesn't tell us her passing. Now I have a question. I understand she had a challenge. Sarai Imenu also had a challenge. She had a lot of challenges. She was in world wars. She was taken from her husband twice. She didn't have a kid until she was older. Why Sarah we glorify and Rivka we hide? And I think the answer is very real. There are some challenges in life that when you overcome those challenges, you're a conquering hero. You got thrown a curveball, you dealt with it, you deal with it well. Wow, people talk about you. You heard this story, you heard this before, you heard the after, wow. And then there are challenges that you're embarrassed of. Rivka Imenu's challenge was one, she's embarrassed. She's lonely. She's dealing with it alone. And therefore, she doesn't want anyone to know. The pain of a single girl is not the kind of pain our community had 30 and 40 years ago for the most part. It's a modern, current, new pain. And it's probably the most common and most difficult pain in our entire community. And I get a lot of calls and a lot of texts and a lot of emails every single day. And they're about all different kinds of issues. But by far and away, the group that's tapped two phones, this one and this one, the group that's emailing and texting and calling, are single girls. I haven't gone on a date in 2 years. My two younger siblings got married and I'm alone. And until now, we had no answer for them. We would tell her, okay, go to a party on Sunday, get drunk before you get there, and maybe that'll attract the boy. Maybe if you go to some island for 7 days in the middle of the winter, maybe something good will happen. You got 7 days. By the time you're home, it's over for 6 months. That's what they're told. Until, enter, Hashem gave us the gift that is Mekudeshet. Mekudeshet is there for every girl and for every boy, so that no person feels this pain of being alone. And sometimes a matchmaker calls with a good idea, sometimes it's not the best idea. But next thing you know, the next idea is awesome. Only takes one. So someone throws at you 3 prospects, 2 of them are not relevant, 1 of them is a good idea, you go on 4 dates, and it didn't work out, okay, there's hope. 2 months later, you go on another 5 dates, that leads to another 5, leads to another 10. Next thing you know, you're married and you have a family. The Joey Ravi that we just saw already had a baby. It's unbelievable what could be done. There's no stigma. It's gone. I'll tell you the stigma. The stigma is 28 years old and feeling like nobody cares. The stigma is feeling like I haven't gone on a date in 3 years. The stigma is feeling like everybody else is building houses and building lives, and I am completely alone and irrelevant. Until Mekudeshet came along and said, your pain is our pain. Your struggle is our struggle. Your future is our future. Your hope is our hope. Your dreams are our dreams. and the work that they've done, and it's hard work. That's why people need to be compensated, because it's hard work. You get burnt out by doing this. It's so hard. Because when you're talking to a girl that's in pain, and you're talking to a boy who's nervous about what it costs to live in this community, you have a lot of back and forth, and I don't know, and I'm not sure, and maybe, and I have to call my rabbi, and my sister, my brother, my mother. And then I have to call my rabbi again, and then I'm not sure. My friends tell me I should be nervous about this one. It's so much. By making it organized, by creating a database, by focusing on each people individually, by caring, by taking care of the matchmakers to make sure they can get it done, by making sure that this is something that happens no matter which school you graduate from in this community. Mekudeshet is for you. I don't care what your religious level is. Doesn't matter how you observe Shabbat. Dude, there's 100 different levels in this community. You can be any one of those 100 levels. Idea of having someone call you up and say, I have a suggestion. There's a boy for you. There's a girl for you. Do some research. Don't just meet her somewhere and try to hope that you get the right girl. Do some research. Ask 5 people. Call their friends. Call their rabbis. So now when you're going in, you're already going in with confidence. If this works, this is something I'm so excited about. The number one pain in this community is the pain of the singles. And this morning, with everyone's participation, we have the chance to alleviate that pain. Don't let go of this incredible responsibility.